Yesterday, Obama, the former DNC Chair Tom Perez, joined an anti-union law firm. This one is from the Daily Poster by Andrew Perez and Walker Bragman. Former Obama Labor Secretary Tom Perez announced on Thursday that he's joining the law firm Venable LLP, whose website boasts that its lawyers regularly counsel and train clients on union avoidance. Perez, who was the DNC chair until January, joins a growing number of Obama officials who cashed in on their government experience with jobs at union-busting companies. That list includes Press Secretaries Jay Carney, who became the top flack at Amazon, and Robert Gibbs, who spent several years as a top flack at Uber for McDonald's. Obama's senior advisor David Plouffe served as a policy chief at Uber, while former senior advisor Valerie Jarrett has a board seat at Lyft. Rather than avoid issues he oversaw as labor secretary, Perez said in a press release he will be working specifically on those issues. Venable's attorneys are at the forefront of helping clients navigate dynamic regulatory policy and labor and employment issues, Perez said in Venable's press release announcing his hiring. I look forward to joining them in this important work. Michael Volpe, a co-chair of Venable's labor and employment practice group, said that Perez's unique background and insights on workplace matters will be invaluable to our clients. Volpe's firm biography notes that he has broad experience representing corporate interest in union organizing and campaigns. All right, focusing on that line right there. Tom Perez is working against the interest of the people. He's there to protect corporations, prevent workers from getting their rights, their fair rights. Coordinating the employer's 5-month anti-union campaign. Perez served as Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights under President Barack Obama before serving as Obama's Labor Secretary from 2013 to 2017. Later, he served as DNC Chair after Obama and now President Biden reportedly worked the phones to help him propel to victory over progressive favorite Keith Ellison, who is now Minnesota's Attorney General. Earlier this year, Perez applauded Biden's choice for Labor Secretary Marty Walsh, tweeting, America needs a Secretary of Labor who will fight tirelessly to empower American workers and labor movement. A union member and champion of workers' rights, Marty Walsh is the right person for the job. Now, months later, Perez is joining a law firm that openly helps corporate America crush unions. Need I remind you that the Democratic Party is also a corporate party? In this past election, Wall Street gave more money to Joe Biden, not Donald Trump. And Joe Biden is not going to undo that famous tax cut of Donald Trump's in a way that it should be done. Once again, ever since the most populist president that the United States has had in FDR, the tax rates have been pretty much cut in half for millionaires. And the only real plan that Joe Biden has is to choose the middle road from the Obama administration on the tax rates. So let's get into this next section. Fighting to protect union busting activities. Venable's website says lobbying thrives on its deep bench and legal strength, which complement our reputation and relationships in Washington, D.C., giving clients a seat at the table and access to our powerful government work. The firm's lobbying clients have included Lockheed Martin, Citadel, American Airlines, and the Self-Driving Coalition for Safer Streets, which represents rideshare companies like Uber and Lyft. Venable regularly submits comments on behalf of their clients to regulatory agencies, including the Labor Department. In 2011, Venable submitted a comment opposing the Obama Labor Department's proposed persuader rule, which designed to require employers to more thoroughly disclose their spending on anti-union consultants. On behalf of the Coalition for a Democratic Workplace, a front for corporate lobbying groups like the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the National Association of Manufacturers, Venable warned that the Labor Department's persuader rule will deny employers the needed legal advice to communicate with employees both before and during periods of union organizing, collective bargaining, and strikes. The rule was finally implemented in 2016, but it was blocked by a federal district court judge. When Donald Trump took office in 2017, his administration quickly moved to rescind it. Protecting the Right to Organize Act, a landmark bill proposed by Democrats, would codify the 2016 persuader rule. This will take me into a different point now. When liberals were fear-mongering about the Supreme Court, and that being the reason that you had to vote for Joe Biden, at the time it felt like one of the better arguments that they would have for that. But it took me a bit to think about it, and I've said part of why I disagree with it. And it's just simply because I don't believe Joe Biden would put actual liberals in the court. He's going to choose slight conservatives at best, somewhat conservative on average, or maybe even nearly as far right as the Donald Trump Supreme Court picks. But I think the end of this article illustrates my other point about why the Supreme Court vote doesn't mean anything. Sure, I think that the Supreme Court, they'll bend more on social issues. Even the conservative justices that are in place, even one of the Trump appointments, Neil Gorsuch, has bent on social issues at times, as we saw last year when they took votes on issues. The other side of it is that they won't be pro workers regardless. The Supreme Court is always going to side with the corporations, and just about any presidential vote isn't going to matter. Even someone who is actually a bit liberal and not someone who's right of the center, even if you're a more left-leaning liberal president rather than your average right-wing liberal, at the end of the day, when it comes to workers' rights, you're working against the courts. And that's going to be part of the struggle to get more unions going. So even if we got to the point where we could get some unions going at places like Amazon, Walmart, Target, Kroger, and strengthen some of the current existing unions that do exist at the rare few at the bigger chains, these corporations are going to ask the courts to bail them out. And even if the Democrats listen to us on packing the courts, they would just have more people in there ready to protect corporations. And that's not how we should go about it. What we really need to do in the future, while expanding the court in the right way would help, it's putting term limits on the Supreme Court. And as I go on the show, you'll see I'm going to advocate a lot for situations where we de-emphasize the impact of Congress and Senate. So, for example, when it comes to the Supreme Court, I think people should be able to vote to confirm justices. I do not want that to be in the fate of like 400 plus people in House and 100 people in Senate. I believe that people should be able to vote on the issues that come through Congress. I do not believe that one of the problems with our political system is we've left it at the fate of a small elite class. And I would like to see people who are interested in making it a direct democracy where when these lawmakers put bills through, the people get to vote for them. And it will be what matters most. I do think that Senate and House members will still serve purpose, at least with the language of these bills. I do think that part still is why they would have purpose. Because I think that is some complex language that you don't completely understand until you really start to regularly read through bills. And that's another part as well. People would need ample amount of time to read through any bill that they would vote on in a direct democracy. And they would also have, and we would also need to come up with a system where they can repeal parts of a bill if they see something that's really negative about a bill. I think if enough people bring up complaints in like a comment section, they should have to remove that part completely before a vote. I know what my idea of a better political system would be would require a lot more work, but the extra work would be worth it in the long run because people would constantly have a say and make sure people live up to their campaign platforms of who they vote for. And that would be the type of political system that I would strive for. Until there's a lot of rigging that needs to get undone before we get to the point where we could even imagine the potential of a political system which takes away the faith, leaving your fate up to a few hundred people and making sure you constantly have a say in policy that they want to pass.